Hey, this is Mike, Seder 42 Vinyl. I'm going to do another video, and today my video is going to be about some albums that I picked up that are bootlegs. They are actual bootlegs of studio albums, and they are mostly from some glam metal bands or hair metal bands that had records basically that came out in the 90s or the early 90s. I don't know the exact amount that these records were pressed originally, but they don't show up on Discogs or eBay or anything like that very frequently. So they probably had very low, pressings because of, the availability of these albums. And they were probably, I think on Discogs, the majority of these albums, if not all of them, only had one pressing, so when you go on Discogs and you search for the vinyl for the original year that they came out, you're only going to find probably just that one pressing that came out, when the album was first released. These albums are very high dollar albums. I can't remember which of these albums, because I bought two of these, and one of these I might have known about the bootleg, and I might have added the bootleg to my want list, so that I could get triggered on it. And the other one I don't think I did, but I don't think it was on there yet. So the album that triggered this, I believe, was Roxy Blue. This is Want Some. And this is an album or a band that came out in 1992. So this is late for hair metal, but this album is right in that sweet spot of what hair metal, was sounding like, and, what it was, in the late 80s and early 90s. But this band just didn't hit, I never even heard of them. I was definitely getting into death metal, thrash metal, I was getting into a lot heavier stuff and just buying more of that. I wasn't buying any more hair metal pretty much probably at that time. So I completely missed this band. But getting back into vinyl, I started hearing about these bands that, were trying to keep it going. This is one of them that just didn't, was just too late. And this is a bootleg of that album. This album can go for upwards of, $150, $250, $300, depending. Sometimes they go up on Discogs for like $200-$300, and maybe people talk them down and they end up selling for, $200 or whatever. But this album goes for quite a bit. Let's just say that. So when I got an alert on this, I was like, okay, that's interesting, So I looked at it and I'm like, you know what? I may pull the trigger on this. So I went to the buyer or the seller, and I saw that he had another album. And I was like, holy shit, what the fuck? And he had the McQueen Street album, the self-titled. This came out in 1991, and this as well as a bootleg. And I'm like, holy shit, he has two of these. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. So I'm like, okay, maybe he just got two of these. So I just put them in my cart, and I thought about it for a little while. I'm like, do I really want to do this or not? But what made me okay with it is that, I don't know if you've watched my other video, but I did buy the Motley Crue self-titled album. This is the 1994 release on gold vinyl, and I got this from Rollin' Rex. And they sometimes have hair metal bootlegs on their site. I remember seeing Cinderella Still Climbing, a white vinyl version that they had that was a bootleg. And I always waffled on that. I didn't know if I wanted to pull the trigger on that one or not. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because it did get reissued by Music on Vinyl on black vinyl. Music on Vinyl does a great job. So that's awesome. So I waited just long enough, but I was so close so many times. So anyway, I saw this up there, and this was I believe an additional repress of this album, or a newer bootleg, I should say, because the other bootleg had a picture on the back of the album of the band, but Vince Neil was still in the picture, and Vince Neil is not on this album. He doesn't sing on it. That was interesting. So what they did was they corrected that. So yeah, they put John Corabi's photo on this instead of Vince Neil. So they kind of corrected the bootleg. The chances of this album coming out, it's been rumored forever that this was going to come out on vinyl. You just keep hearing rumblings every now and then. And when Motley Crue sold off their discography, I believe to BMG, there was hope, that, oh shit, now they're just going to start releasing everything, box sets, whatever, all the rare stuff, and this album has been sought after for quite some time from a lot of people. And so I took a chance on it because I was like, I don't know if this is ever going to happen, because it never, the rumblings kind of went away, and they keep reissuing the first 4 or 5 albums over and over again up to Dr. Feelgood, and they just will not go past Dr. Feelgood. I don't know if it's because Vince Neil's still alive and they just are just like, he's just, maybe that was part of the deal, when they sold their discography, like, you can't release this album until we're all dead, or at least Vince, maybe. I don't know. Who knows what the deal was, but this was put out as a bootleg, and I was like, wow, this is cool. So I pulled the trigger on it, I bought it, and I was like, the only thing I was worried about was, how did it sound? I just didn't know, like what the source material was, how it would sound. But I played it on my system, I cranked it, and, besides it being, a quieter press, which there's going to be a theme with all of these, and that is the biggest notice. That's the biggest thing. Well, maybe the second biggest thing that you're going to notice on these albums is, if you do buy any of them, is that they are pressed quiet. They're pressed, at least 5 to 10 decibels, at least according to my, my dial. I don't know if that's decibels or not, but, my stereo or my amplifier, or receiver, when I turn it up to about 25, that's good listening level. It's a little bit loud. I can go to 20 and that's more, quieter. And that's, just if I just want to do stuff in the background. But 25 is I really want to listen, and 30 is if I'm just, wanting to get into music. Usually I don't go above 30 on a normal album, but all of these albums, I have to go 35 or up, to get them to that high level, of being able to rock out with them. So that's kind of one of the things that you're going to notice as a theme throughout these. And some of them are even quieter than that. Some of them I have to go up to 40 to get them to that, hard rocking level. But I can still play them at 30, like it's anywhere from 5 to 10 on my dial, that I have to go up in order to bring these up to a good sound level. Now, that isn't to say that there are other albums that, that are repressed by official pressings, by the band, label, whatever. They have to do the same thing, like the Overkill box set that came out from Atlantic, maybe Atlantic BMG, the Atlantic years or whatever. All of those are pressed quiet, and I have to turn all of those up. There are several Sabotage albums that came out in that repress, lineup that they did, but the actual music and the record is definitely pressed quiet, especially like Hall of the Mountain King. Like some of the other ones, I don't have original presses, but I do have an original press of Hall of the Mountain King, and that is pressed hot. But the repress, no, it's quiet, and I have to turn it way up, at least 5 more than normal, 5 or 10, to get it up there. So I might have to go to 30 or 35 on that one to be able to rock out with it. But the original press, yeah, it's loud as fuck. So that is a difference. And so as far as sound quality on all of these that I bought, this album included the Roxy Blue. These are the first 2 that I bought. The issue is just the volume that they were pressed at.
Well, I'm an old time
Now, so when I purchased these on Discogs, and then the seller messaged me, he's like, yeah, I got more of these. Go to my Facebook group and here's the link. And if you see anything there that you want, just message me through Facebook. And I'm like, okay. So I go to Facebook and by the way, these albums on Discogs, they cost me, I think they were $45 or $49 each. I felt like that 49 bucks wasn't bad. I get the information for Facebook and I go to his Facebook group that he created and I start looking at his stuff and I'm like, holy shit. He has a lot of fucking stuff. He has a lot of hair metal stuff. So I was like, wow, this is interesting. So I don't know like who pressed these, how they got pressed, what the source was, if it was a CD, if it was high quality digital files, if it was, what it was. But I will say, even though they're pressed quiet, they all sound great. Like the thing that I judge it by is like the bass and the drums, like are the bass and drums, solid? Do they sound really good? Is there a punch, when they're hitting the snare or whatever, do you feel it? And it really does. I mean, my sound system, I have these giant Klipsch Bell, speakers, and I got the RT85 with the 2M blue. I got a Denon, receiver, specifically, that's just for music, stereo only, and it has the preamp in it. So, I don't have like the best stuff, Macintosh or nothing like that, but I do have okay stuff. I think it sounds fine. The bass is punchy, the guitars sound good. The drums, those snares and the bass drum, you can feel it. The majority of these albums sound fine. They sound really good, I would say. I have one of them that I have the CD of the Boots. So, and I compared and I felt like to my ears, they sounded very similar. So I'm okay with it. So anyway, I get invited to the group. I go there and then I'm looking at the albums and I'm like, wow, he's got a lot of stuff.
Some man with a Bible in his hand, still living in sin. Criticize till there's blood in our eyes. We're gonna do you in. We're gonna stomp down, roll your town, break you today. If you're knocking our religion, just get out of our way. Stomp down, roll your town, break you today. Don't go knocking my religion, just get out. I've seen him hurt and I've seen him in the shadows, such a crying shame. They're taking money from the crippled in the ghettos, don't you play their game. They'll lock you up and they'll hang you out to dry. If the bad man wins, speak your mind, you don't have to compromise. Cause it ain't a sin. We're gonna stomp down, roll your town, break you today. If you're knocking our religion, just get out of our way. Stomp down, roll your town, break you today. Don't go knocking my religion, just get out.
I kind of write down a few things and I'm like, I think I'm going to see if he'll make a deal with me, because I'm going to buy like 4 or 5 albums. And he ended up giving me a deal where the albums were going to cost about 37 bucks each. So I was like, okay, this is good. 37 bucks plus about 8 bucks shipping. So it was a little bit cheaper going through his Facebook because he didn't have to pay Discog fees and things like that. So he wasn't covering for any of that stuff. And I only had to pay one shipping fee, so it was like $8 for shipping. So I was like, this is cool. So these are the albums that I ended up picking up, and these are all, like I said, high dollar, you know, $150 to $250, sometimes $300 that they go for. Now I don't know if they always sell for $300, but I'm thinking some of them did. So one of the first ones I picked was Shotgun Messiah, and this is Second Coming. This is a really good album. It has the one song on here, the single, that's really cool. That it's, you know, it's a good single. It's a good song. Is Heartbreak Boulevard. I don't know. It kind of reminds me a bit of Hanoi Rocks for some reason. Maybe it's just the Heartbreak Boulevard. You know, the heartbreak. You know, I don't know. But it has that feel to it. Shotgun Messiah kind of. I would say that they have that little bit of that in them. They're more on the sleaze side, kind of like the LA Guns ish, I think. This album in particular, though, it's a really long album. It's like 50 something minutes. So this album is pressed even quieter. Like this one is even more quiet than the other ones. And one other thing that these albums, I'll just go through and I'll tell you a few things about the bootlegs themselves. They're all uncolored. You know, they all have a unique color. It kind of fits the album, you know, the cover or whatever. And the cover art is not the best. It's a CD, probably blow up or some type of blow up from a file. So it's a little bit blurry. And in this one, it's not too bad because everything is kind of solid colors. You know, you just got the red, the yellow, and the black, and everything is kind of, you know, there's not a lot of detail in this anyway. But what you can tell is the letters for the band and the album title are not sharp at all. They are blurry around the edges. So that's how you know for sure that this was some type of blow up. In general, all of these have the same cover and back cover as the original presses. The other unique thing is most of them come with an inner sleeve. And the inner sleeve, the picture inner sleeve is not at all what came with the original album. This, I don't even know where this picture came from. It's probably, what it looks like is a promo card. And then this just looks like a advertisement. You know, it has the Relativity record with the catalog code for the album. And it just has a song title. They wanted to have an inner sleeve, so a picture inner sleeve, whoever bootlegged this. They didn't bootleg like the CD booklet or the album inner sleeve. They just kind of made up their own. And that's kind of the case for all of these, actually. Again, high value record. And that's another thing. If any of these albums were to come out, you know, as official presses, I'm definitely going to pick them up. I don't know that I would get rid of these. Maybe I would try to sell them. I don't know. Maybe the value wouldn't, you know, I don't know if there's much value in these. If any of these were repressed, I think I would most definitely purchase the represses if I got to them before they sold out or whatever. I would definitely do that. So I don't think that I'm just going to keep these, right? I'd rather have a more official press, you know, with the better sound quality and more of the, hopefully, of the original packaging, you know, even if it's just a lyric sheet instead of a inner sleeve. I think that would be a little bit better to have, you know, something that reproduces the original press. But anyway, Shotgun Messiah, Second Coming, high dollar album, and it sounds good. It's just that it's pressed in super, super quiet.
Make my heart beat like it never did before. I didn't know that anything could be this good. To make me do things I don't really think I should. Like I don't even care. As long as she's there, she makes me go much further than I normally would. Did you see what you're doing to me? Did you you want more. No return, no retreat, just slow down and stop as you were before. I should've known that losing you would hurt this deep. I should've known that happiness is not for keeps. But I don't even know which way to go. Leave me alone, let me die in my sleep. Did you see what you did to me? Did you see that you're making me bleed? Take you for a ride and mess you up inside. Coming on so slow, I never let you go. On the right side, goes like suicide. Down on hard to break strip.
Another one I picked up is Tora Tora. This is Wild America. Same thing, cover's a little blurry, text is a little blurry, but great sounding album. And I compared this to the Spotify and it sounds the same. I actually thought there might have been an issue because when I was listening to this, I was like, wow, that bass, the bass is way up front on this album. Like it's like almost at the same level as the guitars kind of. Like you can constantly hear it, you know, it's just like the guy is just chugging away. But then I listened to the Spotify and it was the same way. So I think it's just how the album was mixed originally. So I think that's just the way it was. That's the front, and then it came in red vinyl. And then again, I mean, this could have been on the inner sleeve. This is kind of a nice picture. But then they had like this advertisement for the single and new album, you know, new album from Tora Tora with the single Amnesia, which Amnesia is a great song, by the way. And this is a really good album. I really, really enjoyed this album. So yeah, I really wanted this on vinyl, and I was like, you know what? This guy had it, $37. It's worth it to me, you know? This again is a high dollar album. Yeah, so this is another really good album. He had this one, so I picked that one up. And he had this album. This is the album. This is the second album from Danger Danger. This is Screw It. Like, there are some albums where, like, I'm like, if they repress this, maybe they could do something better with the album cover. And then maybe have this as like the inner sleeve or something like that. I think this album cover is kind of silly. But this is a good album. This is the second album, and the first Danger Danger album is really good. I really like that album a lot. And this one came on white, and this is a double album. So, and this one doesn't come with anything inner. It just has two of these sleeves, and they're the good ones, you know, like they have polyline inner sleeves. So, you know, they kind of didn't, and these are all glossy covers. So, you know, they didn't like cheap out on the bootleg, at least on the quality of the presentation, you know, the materials was really good, even if they, you know, didn't do anything to try to sharpen the, you know, the logos or anything. Like the Danger Danger logo is really blurry. This one doesn't look too bad because it's, you know, it's more of like a drawing image, so you can't really tell, at least, you know, at quick glance, that it's blurry. But when you look at the back, you know, you can see that the pictures of the band, you know, like they're a little bit fuzzy. So the New Testament reissues for New Order and the Legacy, they fucked those up too, you know. So like the back of Legacy had a picture of the band that was blurry as fuck, you know, and on the original press it's not as blurry. It's not that great of a picture anyway, but it's not that blurry. And the album cover for the New Order was just a mess. It looked just like this, like it was a blow up, and they didn't do any effort to make it better, to fix it. So, you know, it's not unheard of that the actual official reissues are poorly made, you know, as well as far as the presentation. And the Poison album, Native Tongue, that might as well be a fucking bootleg, honestly, because it looks like one, but it wasn't. It was an official press, and that album cover looks like shit, and it's fucking annoying. I'm really mad at that one too, because that was an album just like these bootlegs that cost like $45. Double album, I'll give it that, but the presentation was crap. Anyway, Danger Danger, this is a good album. It's very similar to the first album, so song-wise, I think the first album obviously has better songs, but this album is still satisfactory. It's good.
Ain't no business like monkey business. People say I got a dirty mind, but you don't think so clean. Say it takes one to know one, and baby, I know
Okay, those are all the hair metal releases I got. This is an alternative band that came out, kind of like a Riot Grrrl band that came out in the early 2000s. I think this came out in 2000. And it's a band called Jack Off Jill. And this is Clear Hearts Gray Flowers. This album is fucking great. It's so good. It came out in yellow. And this one, all I have to do is turn it up. It sounds good. I have the CD of this album. I don't know if you can see it up there. That's the CD. Somebody's trying to sell that CD for $300 right now or $250 on Discogs. I don't know if it's going to sell for that, but if it does, wow, I don't know. I'm going to have to consider that because I didn't realize that was so rare. But I did find out that this band, as soon as this album was made, the record company went out of business. So they didn't support the album as far as advertisements are concerned. And I don't know if they pressed a bunch of the CDs or not. I don't know how rare that is, but there are none for sale except for the one that's $250. So it doesn't seem like to be up there very, very often. And the vinyl for this is going anywhere. I see it on eBay and Discogs periodically, anywhere from like $150 to $300. So, until somebody can get this out there and repress it properly, I'm considering these kind of placeholders, honestly, So another glossy cover, and it is a little bit of a blow up. And this one, it actually looks the best because the album cover is, again, like I said, another drawing. So, a little bit of blurriness with a drawing like this is not nearly as noticeable. And it's a soft picture anyway, it has like kind of soft features. So like the CD, it's not sharp. So whenever there isn't any like sharp text, where there's straight lines and stuff like that can get fuzzy, the bootleg looks good. And they don't have like the band name or the album name. They just put it on the side. So, the text or anything like that didn't get messed up. Now on the back, all the text for the songs are a little bit blurry. So this is a blow up. But yeah, excellent sounding album. Again, I just have to turn it up a little bit and I'm there. And I compared this to the CD. The bass and the drums are about the same. I would say this might be just a little bit less than the CD, but not much. And yeah, the hits on the drums are good. They're sharp. You can feel it. Bass drums and all that. The guitars sound good. The vocals sound good. Everything sounds good. So I would say that the only issue with any of these is that I have to turn them up a bit.
A river got away.
So yeah, that's all the bootlegs I bought from this guy, except for the Motley Crue. The Motley Crue I bought from Rollin' Rex. So yeah, I got the Crew, I got the Queen Street, I got Roxy Blue, Shaka Messiah, Tor Wild America, Danger Danger, Jack Off Gel. They're really thick vinyl, and like I said, you crank them up and they all sound pretty darn good. I was really impressed with the sound quality for them being bootlegs and not being official, and I wasn't expecting much out of the art based on what I had already seen from the Motley Crue. Everything being a little blurry, a blow up. And, the real record labels do this dumb shit too, So I don't know that I can really blame a bootlegger for not putting a ton of effort into the cover art. But I think they did their best with the sound quality, and I think it sounds okay. So yeah, those are my bootlegs. I don't know if I'm going to buy any more or not. I might go through his list and see if anything, something new comes up that is not on vinyl and is like, no indication of a reissue, on the horizon. I think I would pick up some more, honestly. So yeah, that's it. Thanks. Bye.